And there is a chat thing also. I forgot to show you.
Live.
We're live. Okay, folks, we're going to try this again. We tried this last week, and we teased you up with Mr. Roland Martin, but we are live, and I think we got this thing hammered down this time. So, hey, it's Barry.
And Dave.
Kenny.
Mike.
Pat.
And Jackie.
With Hooked on Headwaters update report here down here at the Fellsmere Outdoor Adventures Bait Shop, as always. So we're going to jump into this week. We're going to talk, as we usually do, about the weather. We're going to talk about last week. We're going to talk about Mike, so tired he can't raise his arms this week because of the big ones he caught. And we're going to put some, oh, we can't put a picture up. Maybe we did it on your phone and just like hold it to the camera. The thing is, like, you know, this giant big fish. Anyway, so Mike's going to be talking about his adventures. Kenny's going to go ahead and cover both the rig up of the week and the hack of the week. So that's what's going on there. And then, of course,
cover the camera. Here I go.
Dave's back to the camera. And Pat and Jack, you're going to go ahead and update us on what's going on down here at the bait shop, what people are into, what they're buying, and who knows what other craziness we'll come up with. So with that, we might as well just go ahead and kick things off with, and one other little quick note. We're going to take it to the map here in just a little bit because I know that a lot of folks last time really liked that. So when we get to that point, we're going to have to make a little quick move with the camera, so don't worry about it. But we're going to show you the maps and talk about some good places out there to go based on this week's ugly weather that's laying in, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. So let's go ahead and start with what happened last week. So take it away, Kenny, with what you got.
This past week was great. We had good numbers, a lot of size. I fished Kenansville a lot this week, just with the way the wind was blowing and things. Kenansville was really good. This Shad Assassin, caught a lot of fish on it this week.
What color?
It was actually this bait right here, the gold shiner.
We don't hide anything on this show. We know exactly what's working.
The gold shiner was fantastic this week. Throw it right against the hyacinth, just let it sink down. Big girls were coming out and eating it.
Gold pepper shiner.
Gold pepper shiner.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks,
Jackie. Yeah, right. And no weight, just the hook, right?
Yeah, just the hook, like a 6/0 hook, rigged Texas style, and pitching it up against the hyacinth. The deeper the water, the better. So I was looking for like 3 and 4 feet of water. We'd pitch it up there close. When the wind did pick up, we did put an 1/8 ounce sinker on, and it would pull it down forward a little bit, so it'd sink down like this.
Right.
For the most part, we threw it weightless. We had 7 fish over 7 pounds this week on this bait. So
nice.
It's a good week on this bait.
Sounds like you got to have bait for the box thing.
It is, absolutely.
Where do you get those, by the way?
I don't know, Pat. Where do we get these? Yeah, we got them. They're here.
They're here.
Secret spot.
Exactly. Yeah, I went through 6 bags in 2 days. So.
You good, Dave?
Good.
Oh, good. Right.
Awesome.
Okay.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
can we
right.
get kicked off again? But yeah, this week was great for numbers. Big fish, a lot of post spawn fish this week. Not as many spawners.
Right.
So I keyed on hyacinth. We threw tons of topwater baits this week. Had good success on that. Chug bugs worked really well. I broke one off that was over 10 on a chug bug. So
Ooh.
yeah, I set the hook too easy on it. You know.
Yeah. I had fun with the chug buggers last week with you, so I know what it's like.
I learned from him last week. I was like, I'm gonna throw the chug
West
bug.
Virginia swing.
Yeah, I did rip a couple out of the water this week. So
Nice.
they bite this thing. They were under 2 pounds. They got a little airborne.
What were your main places you were fishing?
Kenansville, Headwaters were the 2 main lakes I
Okay.
went to this week. Water temperature hit 82, so the topwater bite was pretty much all day long.
Yeah, of course. This was last week, folks. We're going
Yeah.
a different story coming up this week.
A little bit different.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, we had good numbers and big fish.
All right. So let's bounce it on over to Mike. What you got, bud? Besides
Well,
sore arms.
You know, I was the guy who couldn't fish like Kenny for a couple of weeks. I was only getting 7 pounders, but I found out when you buy the Fellsmere outdoor apparel wear and the hats, you suddenly become a big fish catching guy. We got a 10, a 9.2, an 8.7, a bunch of 6.5 fish, and I fished deep water all week. I fished in Headwaters and Three Forks. So I'm like fishing deep. After the rainstorm yesterday, the topwater bite went off in Headwaters, and it was just so fun. Those fish were up on an edge. They were like 3 feet of water. But everything I'm fishing is swim bait imitator. Basically, the two colors I use, it's like a watermelon red with a white body, and then a shad pattern and a shiner pattern. And all those fish had it all the way back. I mean, there was no doubt that these fish wanted those baits. So, yeah, it was a good weekend and good numbers. You know, we were catching, I had a trip with a young boy yesterday with his dad. He got 25 fish in 4 hours. That was a good day. He was 9 years old and didn't want to be awake until about the second 6-pounder. But most of our trip, like I said, I'm fishing deep water now. Pretty much the post spawn and the pre-spawn fish are still, they're in 7 to 10 feet of water where I've been getting them. And the ones with eggs are full and the ones without are skinny as all get out. So
Big heads.
big heads, Jenny Craig body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. How do you like that? You don't see that anywhere else. Guarantee you that. Right on. Well, follow that there, Pat and Jackie. I'm going to turn this way. That give you a better shot there? All right. So what's been going on down here at the shop, guys?
Well, I wanted to comment on the fishing report. I don't know if I told the guys, but I actually got a chance to sneak out the other day. Actually, Kenny knows I bumped into him out there. And they mentioned, you know, I'm anticipating this flipping bite. I can't wait because Bass Assassin's got this skunk ape gravedigger color that I'm dying to go punch some mats with. And Bass and Gambler's got that 5 1/4 stinger that I can't wait to use. But we went out, we started punching some mats and we weren't having a whole lot of luck. I figured with the water being warm that they would be in the thick cover. I think it was just anxiety. And so they're right. Every time I went to an edge of a hyacinth patch, they were right on the edge. I had 3 big fish that I caught, decent fish, in the 5 to 6 pound range. And as soon as I was throwing the easy swimmer, reddier color, and as soon as it would hit the edge, I didn't even get a chance to work the bait. As soon as it hit the edge, they came up from underneath that mat and grabbed it 3 times.
Wow.
And that's within 6 casts.
Mhm.
And so it's the weed edge. It's the edges of those hyacinth mats.
Mhm.
I guess the hyacinths are providing the shade, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if they're in that thick hydrilla, are they? Because I was getting them coming across the bay. I was getting them when we were drifting across, Kenny. I was telling you, they were sparse patches of hydrilla. It wasn't real thick matted hydrilla like we've been getting them in. It was sparse patches and suspended vegetation, and so that's where we were getting them. So the edges of hyacinth, I really feel like that's or shade structure.
Well, I saw a lot of little bait fish like that, little shell cracker looking fish
Right.
suspended under when those mats would move. You'd bump up to them and then you'd see groups of 5 or 6.
It was just
So there's must be a lot of bait fish that are, you know,
moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was out Friday, I caught that 10-6, I think it was, on a RSB worm, on June bug RSB worm, and it was in by the hyacinth in 10 feet of water.
Right next to the edge.
Yeah, it was in a canal, a blocked up canal.
Right next to the edge.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, I hit the hyacinth, it fell down, boom. It didn't even sink to the bottom.
It was
She just
amazing
ate
to
it.
me, Kenny. As soon as that bait hit the water, they
Yep.
grabbed it. As
Yep.
a matter of fact, we got one that was almost 8, and it scared the hell out of me when she came up. I don't know what it was. So, you know, and that I guess that's what we should be targeting for a little while is the edges of those mats.
And I can't tell you what I'm catching them on because I don't ever get to go fishing.
Well, pretty soon, honey.
Mm.
And so that was my fishing adventure.
Just
So
so you know, that was live now, and
I know.
everybody heard that.
I know.
That you said pretty soon.
pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
It is April Fool's Day.
And so, yeah, that's my fishing report. I agree with these guys. So it's pretty consecutive with three different reports. So
Good.
that'll help.
All right.
And
We got any new products in down here?
yes,
Real quick, do we want to cap?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we're
Jumbo giant.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, guys, that's another thing. We, we're slowly getting more and more product in as we go along, and thanks to everybody providing the support that they've provided, we're able to slowly order more and more product. We really appreciate all the support, guys. We really, really do. Thank you so much. And we're getting more and more. It was nice that the guys today ran out of oil. For the first time, we've got the 2-cycle oil. So it was nice to be able to provide something that the guys needed instead of them. And they came off of Stick Marsh, and they want, in the middle of the day, which they didn't want to leave fishing. Obviously, they're from I think they were from Missouri. Really nice kids.
Arkansas.
Instead of Arkansas, that's what it was. Instead of having to run all the way into town and come all the way back, which would have been an hour out of their fishing time. So that's what we're working towards, slowly but surely, but we are getting it. And we're pretty excited about that. And thanks to you all, it's happening.
Good.
And so Jackie's got some more clothing and hats and stuff that she wanted to talk about. I think.
He thinks. So we did get more hats, and we now have the straw hats. We got in Headwaters shirts. Hooked on Headwaters shirts. You shut up. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
And Pat's in my ear. Yes. We do have Roland Martin turkey collars now. You should probably go get one of those and we can demonstrate. And then we also have these really, really, really cool cups. Barry, go grab a cup.
Where are we hiding?
They're back over there.
Magic.
That's it. We've got these coming in. So if you guys are into something a little bit more fishing design as far as cups, we're gonna have cups. We're gonna have coffee cups. We got koozies. We got a bunch of different ones. They're all stainless steel with some cool fishing lure patterns on them.
That is awesome.
Yep. So come in and check those out for sure. Like Jackie was saying, we do have the Headwaters, Hooked on Headwaters shirts in here, t-shirts, and then the long sleeve fishing shirts, 50 SPF. We don't want to get into a big shirt battle back and forth, but if you guys, anytime you stop down here, if you're looking for the shirt, stop in, pick up one of ours, pick up one of theirs, and you'll be set for fishing.
We got plenty of hats and shirts down here, guys. So just come in, check us out. And we also, our walls, our shelves, everything is just like what Pat was saying. I mean, they're full, and we're trying to keep them that way. So come in and see us. And if we don't have it, let us know and we'll get it. And just like Pat said, thank you guys so much for all your support. We really appreciate it and enjoy meeting all of you guys. It's awesome.
That's the most fun out of
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
And, and for all the folks that are watching, we really, we do this on Thursdays. Before long, we're going to we'll set up like seating for, live
Like
audience
an
and stuff.
audience.
Yeah. But anytime you're down, make it a point. Come on in here. If you're around on a Thursday, pop in, say hello. We want to meet everybody that we can, Kenny, Mike, everybody, we're all just guys just like you. We just have to be in different parts of the country. So when you're down, definitely stop in, say hi. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the weather that's coming up this week from the north coming down here. It's cooling down, folks. We're going to have a predominantly north wind kicking in, gusting pretty good into the mid-20s. We're going to have a drop in temperature down into the 60s. We got all the way till Monday even. We've got the north and then the northeast winds that are just going to be smacking. It's not going to, it is what it is. So with the temperature drops, are you expecting anything? What are you expecting with the temperature drops? Typically we see things like what?
Well, when the temperature drops, typically I'll go start punching mats and reeds.
Mm-hmm.
Look for hydrilla that's pushed up against the reeds and a little bit deeper water. So that's what I'll key on this week is flipping and punching.
Okay. All right. Cool. And Mike, real quick, matter of fact, this might be a good time just to take it to the map so we can kind of talk about this week coming up. So with that being said, folks, we're going to go ahead and take it to the map. Dave, can you spin towards the map just so they can see where we're going?
Here we go. Hold on, folks.
All right, we're going to go ahead and make a move here, so just bear with us. We're just going to move the camera over closer. So these guys can give you a rundown on where they're going to be. or what their suggestions are for fishing the
You want to do Headwaters?
cold weather. Oh, we got a power cord there.
Yeah, I'm only fishing there 2 days, but how many days you got?
I'm only gonna be over here once, or no, twice. I'll be
I
over here
got
twice.
3 and 2 at
I'm gonna
and the
go
rest
to
of them.
Kenansville on here.
That's
Oh, I got one at Stickmarsh this next coming week too.
That ought to be fun.
Oh yeah.
live mics, guys. Don't get caught on a live
Oh
mic.
yeah.
It happens to politicians all the time. You know what that
Yes,
what
yes.
that causes.
Exactly.
All right, Dave, we good?
We are good to go.
Right on. Okay, so folks, this is the part of the show where we usually take it to the map. So Kenny and Mike are going to talk about with this week coming up. We're going to cover the different lakes and kind of they're going to give you an idea of where on these lakes you should probably be targeting and maybe some bait suggestions and whichever way we go. So take it away.
All right. So this week on Headwaters, you're gonna have a northeast wind, so it's gonna be coming out of this direction here. I would primarily fish the northeast lake and punch over here. Look for the hyacinths where it's blown in up against the reeds. These are great spots here. The water's a little bit deeper around the canal. You can get in behind here if you want to get out of the wind a little bit. But I'm going to focus on this lake, the northeast part of the lake up here, and look for hyacinths that are blown up against the reeds in a little bit deeper water. Then over on Stickmarsh, I've got a trip over here this week. I'm going to go straight to the north bank up here in this canal and punch all down through here. It's going to be nasty down. The water's going to be dirty in the south end. I'll probably avoid that. Plus, the water's going to be super choppy, so when you're running down through there, it'll get kind of rough with the high winds. So I'll focus on this back wall here in the back lot on Stickmarsh. Then Kenansville, got the north wind here. I'm going to stay along the berm up on the top side here and over in this corner. Same thing, the water's just going to be dirty down the south end. So we'll look for clean water, places that have hyacinth that pushed up against reeds or hydrilla, and punch those areas and look for the deeper water. There you go, buddy.
Okay. Well, I've got 3 trips at Headwaters. I'm going to stay in the deep water again. I've just found groups of fish in the deep water. So I don't think the temperatures won't affect the water temperature that much. The only thing that's really going to affect them probably is the high pressure. So I'm going to be looking for, like Kenny was saying, there's a really good weed mat building up down along this bank down here and along any of the lakes that are deep. You're going to see the hyacinths get pushed over. So I'm going to find hyacinths on any one of these deep lakes, hit them. And basically this whole edge is protected back in here, which has all kinds of little spots if you go looking. So I'll be using more still stick baits and swim baits, but I am going to actually go to a flip and bite the same way he is. I'm going to be fishing 2 or 3 days here and 3 days at Three Forks. Three Forks is a different setup. East wind doesn't really hurt it. Even northeast wind doesn't hurt it bad because I'm going to fish. If you were to imagine that this was the first canal that you come in off of C40, there's a giant berm here that's about 25 feet tall. And there's just zillions of willow trees in there and 10 to 15 feet of water. And that's where I'm fishing. I'm fishing deep. And with high pressure, those fish are going to be up tight against those trees. And I'm just going to be flipping trees for 3 days, basically. Well, actually about first 2 days. And then after the high pressure settles out, I'll go to a different pattern. But you really have to go on the weather like that. But if you're imagining this is that first block that you come into from Three Forks, Canal 40, come in, if you can stand losing a bunch of lures, it's fun. It's like Donkey Kong, but it's big fish are in those deep holes right now. I mean, big, big. That's where we got the 10 this week. So lots of 7s and 8s. The rest of the lake in Three Forks or in Satori's part is a little bit muddled up. There's a lot of snot grass. There's a lot of, from the heat, the water got up to 80 degrees. So that's another reason I'm not fishing any of that other. But the deep water hasn't been affected and there's still pre-spawn and post-spawn fish there. So that's my tip. Don't be afraid of the wind.
Right on.
Okay.
All right, folks. Now just hang on for a second because we're going to back right up to where we were before so we can get our hack of the week and rig of the week. So coming back. Jeez. Look at that.
Yeah, flexible.
We are.
Just like we knew what we were doing. Or not. All right, so Kenny's gonna go ahead and talk about our rig of the week and a hack of the week. So we'll go ahead and take it from there.
Guys, if you want to catch some big fish, get the 7-inch Shad Assassin gold pepper shiner. Basically, the way I rigged it up was a Texas rig. And I would run the hook. This has got a big giant 1-inch nose on it. So I'd run it all the way through the bait and just rig a Texas rig. And when this thing falls, it will fall completely horizontal, just like this. And the tail wags going down, has a tremendous action. So if you throw it weightless, you could pitch it right against the hyacinths. And as that thing falls, they were grabbing it as soon as you pitch it in there. And basically we could cover some decent amount of water because if you didn't get bit, you just go to the next patch and just keep moving till you found them.
So in other words, just be ready. When it hits the water, you better be looking for the
You better set the hook.
right. Be looking for the strike on the fall.
You get big fish on this bait.
You're not working it
7-inch.
really. You're if it falls and you got nothing,
Go to the next spot. Just keep pitching.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So we were pitching this right up against the hyacinths.
Are you twitching it or jerking it? Because you see some guys with those baits, and they give it a lot of action. Whereas when I like to use those, I just give it a little twitch.
You just have to twitch these a little bit, and they really will glide through the water.
Right.
And the plastic is super soft on these things. I mean, look at that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's great bait.
Resembles a shiner quite well.
Oh, it does. Absolutely. They were really munching this thing. When they hit it, man, they was ripping the pole out of your hand. They don't bump it, no little bite. It's engulfing it. Yeah, we had 2 get deep hooked. I mean, they were
They
eating the
wanted
bait.
it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I bet.
they were swallowing that thing.
All right. So there's your rig up of the week. So you got the right bait, you got the right hook setup. You said it's a size what hook?
That is a 6/0,
6/0.
but you can use a 5 as well.
Okay. 6 or 5, and that using an extra wide gap or just a regular?
Yeah, it's a EWG hook,
Okay.
extra wide gap hook, and it's a heavy hook. Actually, I mean, you're not gonna bend that thing, you know.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you got your bait rig up for the week. So you know what to use out there, what's catching fish. Now let's go to the hack.
The hack of the week, as you guys know, when they make these hooks, there's always a little crease down in the bottom, and with braided line, it'll go down inside there and it'll cut your line. So what you can do is take your extra tag in off, a hook that you tied earlier or whatever, and just tie a knot in there and just shove it down in that little crease to take up that space, and then tie your line on there. So you got like a little buffer in there, and it prevents the braid from sliding down in that crack and losing fish.
That's a good deal there because how many
And it's
times we
free,
get a
I
break
mean-
off right there? You're like, what in the world? And that's what.
Instead of throwing your line in the water, just throw it down on the floor of your boat, tie it in that little hole there.
Yep.
Save you some fish. For sure, it works.
Absolutely. Yep. See, never ending wealth of information coming out of these guys all the time. Always get something smart. But that comes with experience, guys and gals out there. So with that, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this week, right? We pretty much covered everything. So just to recap, we got a cold week coming up. So you're going to be fishing, northeast winds. You're going to be fishing those north banks, most part. We're going to have dirty south ends. We got this is the
Shad Assassin.
Shad Assassin, right?
Gold
So-
pepper shiner is good.
right? There's a suggested bait, and Mike.
I'm fishing big. I'm fishing big baits all week.
Big or go home.
Big or go home. And I'm using on these baits, I would use an 8 or a 7 or an 8 minimum because of the amount of rubber. Because when that fish grabs all that, a 5/0 wouldn't do it. I'm using 7 to actually 10/0. Some of them.
Let's let them really get an idea of that.
But think about that.
That's a
Everybody
big-
says that's a big bait. That's a shiner.
Yeah,
That's a shiner.
that's true.
Oh, it's a big one.
Yeah.
With-
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and this bait, I'm telling you what, another thing, a lot of people fish this bait with the tail down. I have found that when you see the tail is kind of, it lifts. When you pull it, it lifts.
Mhm.
When I fish this bait, I'll fish it this way, but look how much more supple the tail is. And this way I can do like a more of a slow roll presentation with this bait, and you don't have to be going fast, and it's just wiggling as it's going through. You don't have to rip it. You don't have to do anything. aim your rod at it, and just reel and hang on. So that's my hack of the week or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it's just
That's
funny. I mean,
good.
everybody fishes these baits this way, but you can see the difference in the tail action.
Yeah.
It's just so much more supple that way. And I just get so many more bites upside down. I don't
Makes
even know if it's
sense.
upside down. Maybe it's the way it's supposed to be. But that's how I fish it.
Could be. That's actually, that's interesting. My God, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for another fishing report here from Fellsmere Outdoor Adventures. Thanks everybody for watching. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Channel's growing. We appreciate all you subscribers. Everybody, if you don't mind, hey, share it out with your friends. Tell them about what we're doing here and get down from wherever you're at. Get down here to Florida. It's just only going to get better from here as spring comes in full and it starts warming up. I can't wait for top water just to be going out every
It was
day doing
dynamite
that.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we got so much fun, but we've got more than just Headwaters, folks, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming video. You know, Headwaters may be the draw, but we're going to start digging into these other lakes and let you guys really see that, hey, if I'm coming to Florida, it's not a one-stop shop. It's 5 stops all around you that you can hit. Right, 6. Well, it's actually 6. That's it. Exactly.
Shopping spree.
For bass, right? You got 6 stops, 5 lakes, and a bait shop. So there you go. All right. So with that, well, goodbye. See y'all next week. We'll let Dave get over here. If you're looking for a guide, real quick, if you're looking for guides, of course, Dave, kayak guide. Best, you're gonna have an absolute blast with Dave out on the water in the kayaks. These are pedal kayaks, so they're nice, easy. You spend all day pedaling, you never get tired. Tons of fun. You get to see things from a totally different perspective. And Kenny and Mike, of course, best guides around, no doubt. So if you want fish, you know, these guys are the ones to hook up with. And of course, for bait and everything else, come see Jackie and Pat for advice, for bait, for everything else. So with that,
Say hello to Tim.
yep,
Hey,
Tim the Turtle.
Good luck.
That's it. All right. That's it. All right, folks. See you next week.
Bye,
So long,
Have a good week. Good
Bye.
fishing.
See ya.
Boom.